What's up, guys? I'm going to wait a few minutes here and let some of you join me. So I'm going to give it about 2 minutes, but I have a lot to talk about. Um, I do have some good news about what I informed you guys about yesterday. And so I'll just start it off while we're waiting for a few more people to come in. But just as an update to yesterday, I was very dejected, and I'm really sorry that I came across that way. I am, but uh, essentially, I lost everything on my computer, and it was a blow, man. It was a punch in the gut, big time. But it is what it is. So, but the good news is that I did find on my hard drive, on one of my hard drives, that some of the best ones, the best videos that I had, the ones that I know that you guys liked the most. So I guess we could call them the most important ones. I do have, and by the way, thank you guys. I appreciate all the suggestions and everything. The here's the thing. Uh, with a cloud, you gotta understand. When I do the videos, I try to keep them high quality, so I save them as AVIs, and AVI files are huge. Each AVI file, um, it's big. Like one video is anywhere from 1 to 2 gigabytes, and then if I do a full length, some of them are 20 gigabytes. Well, I got 270 videos up. Do the math. That would get very expensive on cloud. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I got to do this landscape for some reason, and I'm not sure why, but I guess it's all good. So I'm going to go ahead and start. One of the things I wanted to talk about this week was kind of reverse race roles in what we're used to. You know, uh, and it struck me the other night. I was watching opening night of hockey, and there's a probably what 7, 8, maybe 10 black hockey players in the NHL this year, which has grown exponentially. Black hockey players has grown exponentially since I was playing as a kid. I never saw a black kid in my life playing when I played. I played travel hockey, and we went all over the place. And uh, I never saw black kids playing. I think maybe once or twice when we went to Canada, which was rare. But once in a while, we'd make a road trip to Canada, and it's just amazing, the growth there, and it's really kind of cool. And now we've got some guys coming in the league. Dumba from Minnesota, he's a defenseman. Um, I got a feeling he's going to have a breakout season, and but you got your mainstays. You got your PK Subban, you got Wayne Simmons. These guys they're strong hockey players. They're strong skaters, and yes, they are Canadian. But there are some American black hockey players playing just below that level. Usually, the level right below the NHL is either junior hockey, which is the OHL, the Ontario Hockey League, or there's also a Quebec Hockey League. But primarily it's the American Hockey League and the AHL, where the OHL and the Quebec League is more for young players that they're just trying to bring along slowly, whereas with the uh, the more the guys that are ready to come up tend to get sent to the AHL, and it has to do with restrictions and things like that. But yeah, it just kind of struck me the other day, because there's this narrative for the longest time that black people don't play hockey, you know, and black people don't even watch hockey. Well, I got to tell you, you look in the stands. There's the TV. Um, it's horse racing. It, it's on mute. Sorry, I was watching something else and this came up. but um, but so you look in the stands though, and you watch. There are, I'd say, probably, I don't know, 3 to 5% black people in the stands now. I was watching the Carolina Hurricanes last night play. I'm having a brain fart here. Um, Come on. Oh, Montreal Canadiens. And they played in Carolina, and there were quite a few black people in the stands, and it, it's just cool to see, And really, what I wanted to do in this podcast, and I may do this in the future, is there's a graphic, and I obviously, because I'm on my phone, I can't show it right now, okay? But there's a graphic of basically what they do is they take all of the nations and all of the peoples, Asians, blacks, whites, Hispanics, etc., and they kind of put a model in, um, and they spit out look like what people will look like, what humans will look like in 1,000 years from now. And the lines are going to get very blurred, and that's just reality. Um, I remember when I was young, interracial couples were taboo, and I think it mainly had to do with the fact that white people were offended by it. Not all white people, I'm talking in generalities, but a lot of white people were offended by the fact that they would see a white girl with a black guy, and um, that stigma has gone away quite a bit. I mean, it might still be there with some people, but for the most part, if you're at Walmart or Publix or Kroger or wherever you live, the supermarket that you're at, and you see a black guy with a white girl, I mean, I don't think about it, but I think few people even think anything of it anymore, right? Now we're talking in a generation, we're talking about um, the past 25, 30 years. And that's pretty remarkable when you think about the length of humanity, right? And now I've started noticing black women with white guys more. It's not near as common, but I see it more than I did when I was young. And it just goes to show you that it's a trend. It's going to happen. At some point, we are going to look like we're all going to look alike, you know? Um, and I'm not saying that's all necessarily good, because I like the fact that we all bring something to the table, that we all have a uniqueness. And I don't think that as far as the heart and the mind goes, that will ever change. But the way we look, there's no question that that's going to change, you know? And and getting back to the sports thing, um, one of the best wide receivers and best running backs in the league, one of them, um, are white guys. Who would have thunk that? Christian McCaffrey and Adam Thielen. The last year McCaffrey was he the second top rusher or something like that, and Adam Thielen isn't. He's a top five or six receiver in yards last year. It's you know it I'm trying to be careful because I'm not trying to make this into something that um, is anything beyond superficial, because a lot of people, I know a lot of people, their hearts are different than what they speak out of their mouths, right? They talk the talk, but do they walk the walk? You know, and but I find it refreshing, and this is where I'm trying to be careful here because I don't want to be misunderstood here. So don't take a 3-word snippet out of what I'm saying here, okay? To uh, you know to make your point, or to address me as a racist or something like that. I think most of you guys know me better than that by now. But it's kind of refreshing to see a black guy playing hockey. It's kind of refreshing to see that not only is Christian McCaffrey white, he's not very big, you know, and this takes me to the direction that I really wanted to head with this, which is quarterbacks. Russell Wilson is an incredible quarterback. And it kind of struck me this week, leading up to the game last night. Excuse me. And I don't know how many people saw the game last night, but uh, back in I don't remember the Super Bowl numbers. I don't know the numbers, but when the Steelers played the Cardinals, and Ben made that throw to Santonio Holmes in the corner, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. He threaded a needle. Ben threaded a needle. Santonio Holmes made this insane catch, did a toe tap, and last night Russell Wilson did that exact same move. The throw, he had inches to deal with. Literally inches he had to put this ball in there. But what was even more incredible is the fact that he moved around the pocket for 5 or 6 seconds before he even had to make the throw. And then Tyler Lockett makes this incredible catch in the end zone. Did a toe tap, just like Santonio Holmes did. And, and now we have Patrick Mahomes. And I obviously, I mean, I haven't looked into this or anything, but I'm pretty sure he's half black. Um, Russell Wilson is black. Obviously, everybody knows I love Deshaun Watson. And Cam, there's times where I love Cam, and there's times where, I feel like he's phoning it in. But overall, he's been a great quarterback. Um, this narrative of black quarterbacks in the NFL is changing within our generation, or within your generation. When I say your generation, I'm speaking to the people that are young right now, the millennials, if you will, Uh, it's really we're living in a very fast time, and these things are changing at a very rapid pace. And now we have, I mean, when you look at Cam Newton, and yeah, I know Cam doesn't always play the best, okay? But he looks like a quarterback that belongs in the pocket when you look at him, right? Because for the longest time, and I talked about this before, Doug Williams, Mike Vick, Warren Moon, these guys were very mobile, right? And so it was the stigma that black quarterbacks are only mobile. And I argued even back in the day when Mike Vick was playing in his prime, when he was with Atlanta, let's call a spade here. I mean, he was remarkably better when he was with Atlanta than he was after he left. He was with Pittsburgh 1 year, but I think he was with Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. But that guy could thread a needle, you know, and with force. Um, he could drop it down the chimney. Uh, and he was the one of the first people. Steve Young, you could probably say, was a bit of a pioneer of moving around in the pocket, but Mike Vick mastered that. But Mike Vick could throw almost as good as Steve Young, and it started really changing the narrative at that point. Now you got to think about this. There's there's sirens going on in the background. Sorry, guys. They're coming right down my street for some reason. Maybe they're coming after me. Dirty's in trouble. Um, but Mike Vick played 20 years ago, I would say. Um, so here we are in 2019, and I'm just telling you, as a 52-year-old man, the changes that I'm seeing in society. And I don't think it's just in the United States. I think this is more global, and in ways, the United States is behind on some stuff. Um, you know, Aries Spears did this great joke about him. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but he did this great joke about he went to Canada, and he found a black guy, and he's like, oh my God, brother," and he goes, he's like, "What are you talking about, man?" He goes, "Oh man, they got you." you know, and it's just kind of funny because in Canada it's nothing like it is in the United States as far as tensions and things like that. And you know we it's our responsibility as the older generation, and I feel a strong sense of responsibility to start breaking these stigmas. Okay. um, you guys have heard me say it a million times. It's about the healing, man. It's about the healing. And um, we can't heal until we identify that there was a problem. You know, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, you know, let me be a typical old school white person here, okay? Um, you can't say, well, they've got all the benefits that we have now. black people have all the benefits that white people have now. Well, okay, maybe to a degree, but there's still stuff from the back, man. There's, it's the old sweep it under the rug thing. It's there's still a pile underneath that pretty rug that needs to get cleaned out. You know, let's be real here. Let's not pretend like nothing happened. You know, and then you have white people that go the other way with it too. Well, I don't see in color. Well, that is one of the most. I can't. Yeah, I was gonna. I don't like using that word anymore. That was one of the dumbest things that white people came up with that I don't see in color. It's okay to be different, man. There's nothing wrong with it. And although 1,000 years from now, we might look a lot more alike, doesn't mean that we can't celebrate diversity. I've said it before. I love Mexican food, and I'm gonna say it. It might come out sounding bad or anything, but my wife and I, back when we were in Toledo, there was this place over in South Toledo, and it was all black people. And they had fried chicken there that was out of this fucking world, man. I mean, it was out of this world. And we used to love to go there. And, you know, Italians brought pasta here and pizza here, and we celebrate that, right? Well, that's has a lot to do with the fact that they kind of look like us, right, as white people. But you know, the point of all of this is that we have to acknowledge that we are different. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that we are different. You know, um, I don't know, man. I think that by seeing people like Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, in traditionally white positions, and then seeing somebody like Christian McCaffrey or Adam Thielen in traditionally black positions is really good for us. It makes us rethink our own, because reality is what we make it. I mean, we make our own realities. It's just like this. If I hung around racist, I'm going to be a racist. If my parents are racist and they raised me to be racist, there's a good chance that I'm going to be a racist. Um, and until we start acknowledging that there are problems, and until we start breaking these cycles of teaching our kids, and when I say we, I'm talking about the older generation, okay? Until we start, you know, stop teaching our kids that, we don't want to play with that kid because he's black, or we don't want to play with that kid because he's Hispanic, or or even our grandkids. we can't heal, and it's all about healing, man. We got to heal, and it's time we heal. Hang on, the dogs want to say hi. Say hi. There's Bruna. I don't know if you guys remember Bruna. She had the surgery. We almost lost her. She's a good girl. She's daddy's girl. Sorry about that. Oh, and that's Stewie, by the way. He, he's a Shih Tzu, so we'll get a bulldog, right? Made him get a bullshits. Uh, but anyway, the bottom line is, as an older generation person, and listening to rap and hip hop has changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. It's changed my outlook. And by changing the way I think about a lot of things, about how I consider other people, and I consider other people's feelings about things. Stewie, no. I'm sorry, I keep getting sidetracked with the dogs, guys. I'm very sorry about this. Probably should have put them away before I did this, but basically, hang on, guys. Stop. Okay, so listening to rap and hip hop, and more importantly, the lyrical content of it, kind of redefined me, and it made me realize that we're not so far apart, that we're not so different. And I think that that's maybe the most important point that I should be making here is it's not just about celebrating diversity. It's understanding that while we are different, in 1,000 years we might look alike, we're still human beings, and we're all in this together, you know? And I hope, I pray, and I'm not a religious person per se, by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of you guys know that about me. I'm very spiritual, but I'm not religious. But I do believe in the power of prayer, though. And I pray that we can start healing as one. As different as we are, we're still human beings. And I hope that that never gets lost. Let me rephrase that. I hope that we find that more substantially, you know? So I know I apologize about, being all around the place, but I'm just riffing here. More than anything, I just wanted to check in with you guys, let you know that I'm alive, and I'm not quite as dejected today as as I have been for the past couple days. I'm still downloading everything. It's You wouldn't believe the amount of stuff I have to download. So, but at any rate, I do have some picks, and I promised you guys I would give you some. So, by the way, Frizzato, I think your name is on Instagram. Yes, I will give you my locks because he said that my locks made him some money the past 2 weeks, which is amazing because I was 1 of 3 in my picks, in college football and 2-1 in NFL last week. So that wasn't too good. So apparently you picked the right ones I picked. But overall, the season I'm up. So uh, let's start with number 14 at Michigan. I'm sorry, number 14 Iowa at Michigan. Number 19 Michigan. Uh, my mind tells me to stay the hell away from this one. Uh, this is a tough game to call. Um, Michigan is getting 3.5 points, so I'm going to take them because I think, believe it or not, I think Michigan actually wins this one outright. But even if they don't, this is a 3 point game, so I'll take that extra half point. Texas, number 11, Texas at West Virginia. West Virginia is getting 10.5 points, and I know for a fact that there are a couple of people that I've had conversations with on YouTube about Sam Ellinger, um, and so I know there's some Texas fans out there. You're going to hate me for this, but I'm going to take West Virginia with the 10.5 points. Number 7, Auburn is giving up 2.5 points to Florida. This is my lock pick of the week. I am taking Auburn to beat Florida, um, and giving up the 2.5 points. So, and it's in Florida. So, but Auburn's defense, come on, man, it's real. It's for real. NFL picks. Arizona +3. So Arizona is getting 3 points somehow in this game. I'm not even sure how that's even possible. At Cincinnati. Um, Not only am I taking Arizona with 3 points, I'm calling this an upset because they're getting 3 points, because Arizona's going to win this one outright. Cincinnati's a mess. John Ross is out. The other guy, not AJ Green, he's obviously out, but I forget the other guy's name. They don't have any wide receivers, none of them. And then Minnesota getting 4.5 at New York Giants. Taking Minnesota to win, and I think Minnesota wins by 10, to be honest with you. But 4.5 covering for sure. New England giving up 14.5 points. Uh, at Washington, this is my lock pick. I am taking New England to cover the 14.5 points in Washington. That's a lot of points in the NFL, man. Um, Toronto. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm moving on to NHL, and we're going to talk a little hockey after I'm done with my picks, by the way. Um, Toronto giving up 1.5 points, which is a lot in hockey. Uh, at Columbus. I hate this because I can't stand Toronto, and I'm going to talk about this here in a minute. But I got to take Toronto over Columbus Blue Jackets in Columbus. Winnipeg at New Jersey. New Jersey's getting a half point. I'm going to talk about New Jersey in a minute. But I'm taking New Jersey to win, and I'm getting a half point on that too. So that means nothing unless it comes down to a tie, which won't happen. They have shootouts, so I don't understand that. Vegas Golden Knights at San Jose, again a half point. That San Jose is getting at home, but I am going to take Vegas Knights to beat them. They beat them opening night in Vegas, and I don't see it being any different. San Jose they're in a rebuild mode right now in a big time way, and they don't look good. So first of all, Toronto Maple Leafs. How in the hell can they be at $95 million of the cap when the cap is $83 million? How is this even legal? I don't understand this for the life of me. I can't figure it out. The cap in the NHL is $83 million. Toronto is currently over 95 million. Nobody else is over 80 million. I don't get it, man. It makes no sense to me. But I want to give you guys my Canadian buddies up there. There are a couple Canadian guys up there that like it when I talk hockey. So I believe one of them is in Vancouver, and I know there's one in Winnipeg. But I am going to make a bold prediction, and since the season has started technically, but this team has not yet. So I'm going to make a bold prediction. New Jersey Devils, that were in dead last place last year. I'm not only predicting that they're going to make the playoffs, I am predicting that they're going to be a fourth or fifth seed in the playoffs. I think they rebound in a big time way. First of all, obviously, Taylor Hall's back. That helps. That guy, I think we've forgotten about him. He's kind of like the Le'Veon Bell of hockey. Le'Veon Bell, he was a special player. He may have been the best running back in the NFL. He took that year off, and now he's in New York, and people they're sleeping on him. But I got a feeling his days in New York are not going to last real long. GM got fired over bringing him in, etc. We'll see about that. But Taylor Hall, let's not forget who this guy is. This mommy's home. See, they let him know. Hang on, guys. Hang on 1 second. Oh no, never mind. Amazon got here. They just. Oh wow! Look. It's an Amazon Prime truck. They got their own delivery service now. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not. Oh, settle down. You're not doing anything. Thinks he's a tough guy. Look at him. Look how little he is. Hey, are you tough? Are you tough, Stewie? Oh, man. He's a trip. So, anyway, Taylor Hall, he's the real deal, man. And now they've got him paired up with Kyle Palmieri. By the way, would it have not been hilarious if Kyle Palmieri's parents would have named him Peter? Peter Palmieri. Never mind. All right. Yeah, so and Nico Hischier. So they got Nico Hischier, Taylor Hall, and Kyle Palmieri on the first line. Top heavy, yeah, but who gives a shit? It worked for Colorado last year. They had Rantanen, Landeskog, and McKinnon all on the same line, and they got to playoffs, so it worked. They went from worst to first. So this whole top heavy thing in hockey drives me nuts. There's nothing wrong with being a little top heavy. I wouldn't even bother me to see Steven Stamkos and Kucherov and Braden Point on the same line, for Tampa. So, but Anyway, and then on top of that, they got Jack Hughes, who we don't know. He's a rookie. You never know how these things work out. He could get sent down to juniors, possibly, but I don't think so. He seems like he's the real deal. So, anyway, that is it, you guys. I just wanted to check in, let you know that I'm in better spirits, and I'll be back up and running here real soon. I I've got a little surprise for some patrons brewing. So you know what? I'm gonna give it to you. Everybody paying attention? You listening? I know you can't chat back. I killed the chat because here's why I killed the chat, and I know it's probably driving some of you guys crazy. Okay, but what happens is that I start reading it, and I'm not sharp enough for that. I'll start reading it, and I'll completely forget. You saw how bad it was when I was trying to talk when we first started this thing. Could you imagine me trying to read chats on top of trying to stay focused? It's just impossible. I got dogs around here, and they're keeping me preoccupied from being able to get a thought out. So, what does that tell you? I'm not bright. So, anyway, but I am going to tell you what I'm going to do. So, going forward on full length Fridays on Patreon, um, it's going to get put to a vote. So, there will be a poll, and you will have four choices. And I'm going to start doing that this coming next time. And I'm going to give you a full week to vote. So I'm going to take four full lengths. We're going to put them on the poll. You guys will have an entire week to vote. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. You'll have an entire week to vote, and that's the one that we're going to do. So I'll close out the poll on Thursday, the Thursday beforehand, and we'll do the full length Friday based on that. So, and here's another little sneak peek for you. Since I know you guys have been patiently waiting, I got to give you some kind of nuggets here, right? Um, part two of Lil Wayne will be on the next poll. So, Drought 3, Disc 2 will be on the poll. Um, I hope it wins. No, it doesn't matter. We'll get to it at some point anyway, right? Um, but yeah, so that's what we're going to do going forward. So I know that everybody that's over on Patreon will be seeing this at some point. Um, uh, but that's it. Guys, I love you to death. You know, they there were 5 or 6 Instagram messages, two or three Twitter DMs, all kinds of comments in the section yesterday. Um, you guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your words. And it just goes, going back to the beginning of what I was talking about earlier about, humanity and us kind of coming together and all of that stuff. And I got to tell you, man, you guys have restored so much faith in for me personally in humanity. Um, that it's just been life changing. It really has. Um, you know what? While we're here, I'll show you my pretty little girl here. That's my that's my favorite acoustic. I hope you saw that. That's my favorite acoustic guitar. Um, you guys can't chat with me right now, which is 100% my fault. But yeah, there she is. She's beautiful, and she plays beautifully. I'm working on it. I always keep one. I'm getting Instagram messages all throughout this whole thing here. It's driving me nuts. Um, I keep it down here in the living room because I get inspired to write a lot, and I need a guitar quick, to pick it up. And I have actually been working on a song, um, and it's about some family members and my dad, and mostly it's just I got the music written out right now, but I have the lyrical ideas in my head, and it's called "In the End." And you know what? You guys want me to play? I'll play. I'll play just the musical part. I'm not going to do the lyrics because they're not written out yet, and I don't have them in front of me. I don't know how I'm going to set my phone though. How am I going to do this? I don't know how you're going to see me. Ugh, this was a bad suggestion. Um, Let me try this here. That's not too bad, I guess. Let me cover that light up there a little bit. That's basically the gist of it. Um, Sorry, I didn't want to. I'm still working on the vocal, or I mean, on the lyrics part right now. So, but I'll get to it, and once I get it done, I might give you guys a teaser. But it's probably going to go on the album I'm working on. So, um, look forward to that. All right. I'm gonna let you guys go. I just wanted to, like I said, I wanted to check in with you guys and give you a little something to talk about. You know, um, and I know you guys are patiently waiting, and as am I. Everything's still downloading, so it's I'm walking up and down the stairs, you know, 30 times a day. Okay, next program. So, but I will see you guys soon, I promise. All right. But I'm like I do. Peace.